Well, howdy ho. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Paint. We're continuing here, and as you can see, I just busted out the Bow Red Contrast Paint by Citadel Paints because we're just going to jump right in and continue with this miniature and get this thing rolling. And in doing so, right before I had hit play, I had thought about another thing that a coworker had said to me. And he was like, you know what's kind of impressive is the fact that I was talking so much and painting just, I guess, almost seamlessly or something like that. And I was like, so something I had noticed from like Let's Plays channels and whatnot, talking while doing some of that stuff can definitely be an acquired skill, as I have attempted before to record game footage and commentate over it, and that was certainly tricky. Now, doing all this, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I don't even know if it seems seamless or effortless or anything. I just flat out told him, dude, if anything, I will take the somewhat modest approach and say that it is definitely an acquired skill. Not even to really call it a skill per se, because it kind of is a skill to do that. To talk over some gameplay footage, because there have been times where I've seen them play some games, man, and I'm like, I've played this. This takes some goddamn concentration. Or I'm watching them do something, and I'm like, how are you able to talk throughout all of that? It's sometimes it is quite impressive. But for the painting thing, I told him, not gonna lie, dude, when I first started, it was weird. It was really weird. I don't know how many times I restarted the episode on my very first episode. Like that first series for the Cacarodons. I couldn't tell you how many times I restarted the couple of episodes that I had done. Like, I don't know. Because I know it's a 4-episode series, but I'm pretty sure for 2 of them at the very least, it was most likely 3 that I just restarted. Yeah, absolutely the first one. I kept restarting that shit over and over because, I was nervous and I was overthinking the intro and everything like that. And I was like, I don't know how to just get across what I'm trying to get across and just start. And that was the problem. I was like, dude, just fucking start. Just go for it. Just try to be as organic as you can. And, trying to be organic is about the furthest thing from organic you can be. So just go with it. And I think that's what it finally took me, was to just go with it. It didn't have to be perfect or special or anything like that. Just fucking go for it, all right? If you end up looking like a fool, then you end up looking like a fool. I'd rather it be natural. There have been times where I thought about doing a voiceover work, or it was like, I wish I hadn't talked about that, negativity and other shit, and I was like, whatever. Lesson learned, try to be more mindful of what you're talking about on the show. Just because this is not a place to be horrendously negative. Like when I was talking about the commission work, I really, really wasn't trying to get negative with it. Was I frustrated with the process? After a while, yeah, because he kept changing his mind, and I was like, dude, as much as I want to help you, I need you to pick something here. All right, I know you're excited and all that shit. I'm not going to get into all that again, but I also did not want to come off as ungrateful or anything like that. Like somebody chose me out of the whole internet to do their commissioned work. And I was thankful. I still am thankful because I'm like, cool, you're just one person, and I'm hoping more people will come to me. That would be fantastic. And if no one else comes to me, that's okay. I could still consider that to be fantastic because then I don't have to meet your demands. I can just paint whatever the fuck I want. Which is kind of what's been happening. So, I don't know if I've told this story before, but when it comes to me and painting for Warhammer, it all started years ago, and I believe I told the story of my buddy Perkins, who had caught me watching some caught me like I had my pants down or some shit. He caught me watching some Star Wars lore videos, and he was like, "Nah, fuck that shit. Here, try this." And he puts on Luton 09 and fucks off. He just disappears for another hour. And he was like, "I'll come back." And that's what got me hooked. And I was already painting miniatures for D&D and everything, so I just transferred that over to Warhammer stuff. But I got the arm. I was being careful, or I was being not careful. I was being sloppy, and I was painting a little quicker than I needed to be. Anyway, my brain is moving very quickly right now, and I'm kind of forgetting what the hell I was talking about. The Warhammer thing. I was getting started and all the painting and all that shit, and yep. That same guy, Perkins, until it comes back to me, I'll just keep rolling with Perkins. He has commissioned work from me. And it was an Abaddon. So I got to do Abaddon the Despoiler. That was awesome. And I got to play with it a little bit. I asked him, because Abaddon the Despoiler is standing over a body of a space marine, and it's a ultramarine. And I just don't care for ultramarines. And a lot of the reason is because they're fucking blue, and I hate blue. So I was like, "Hey, do you mind if I paint this ultramarine to be a Carcharodon?" And he said, "Honestly, I would prefer if you did it just like the box art." So I was like, "Okay, that's fair." I still threw in my personal touches because, I'm a little bit of a stubborn ass. And he didn't seem to mind. When it came to it, what personal touches did I throw on there? Let's see. His sword is not colored exactly how it was in the box art. Yeah, not really even close to that. I colored it a bone color, and I was trying to do some green skulls coming out of it. Shit like that. The effect didn't work out how I wanted it to work out. If I had my Tesseract glow, I could have pulled it off a lot better. But either way, I had done that, and then there's a Space Marine helmet on the spikes on his back. Excuse me. And it's supposed to be a red sergeant helmet, and I'm assuming from an ultramarine. So I painted that as a Carcharodon. And I was like, "You're gonna get a Carcharodon in here somehow, buddy. It's your mini, your world, or your wishes, but I'm gonna throw something in there." And he loved it. He did not mind. I told him it was kind of like my little signature. So almost any time, because I don't do it for every single one, but almost any time I have something chaos that I'm doing, and they have a trophy like that, like a Space Marine helmet or something, I usually paint it as a Carcharodon. And that is because that's what I was originally painting. Like, that's what really was spurring me on to paint for a living, was I was doing an army of them, which has now brought me full swing back to what the hell I was thinking about. So how all of this was really, really starting for me was I had just quit my job at ADT. I believe I've said I worked there. I might have left it ambiguous. I'm not sure. Either way, it wasn't for ADT. It was for one of their authorized dealers, and I just don't feel like calling them out right now because I don't really have good things to say, and I'd rather avoid legal action for slander or anything like that. Either way, I used to basically work for ADT, and I had quit because it was just not the lifestyle for me. And right after quitting, my high school friend group wanted to get into Warhammer finally. One of them had been into it before, and they finally got the others into it. They were like, come on, man, let's do that. So they finally caved, and they wanted to play. And then they asked me if I would play, if I would actually join them. And that was actually flattering because, for a long time there, I felt like I really wasn't included much. And there's a whole thing to that. For the longest time, I just wasn't reliable when they would say, hey, we're all going to hang out. Do you want to come hang out? And I was usually a no. So they just eventually stopped asking, and then I would see that they were going out and they were posting about it, and I was like, damn, I really feel left out here. And I was like, how come you guys don't invite me anymore? And that's when they were telling me that, hey, it's because you were always a no. So after a while, we were like, we're not going to bother anymore. And I made the effort. I was like, look, I want to come out. So please promise me the next time that you guys go out that you let me know, and I will come. And I think they still didn't at that point. It's hard to remember. And I'm not trying to give false information here or make them seem like bad guys or anything like that, because they're not. It's just life is what it is. Eventually, they did, be like, all right, hey, we're going to go out to Kelly's Tavern. You want to come with? And, I started showing up more, and then, more and more and more, until I felt like I was really back with the group. But either way, they wanted to play 40K. They were like, hey, would you like to play with us? And of course I fucking would. Of course. I was like, God damn it, to buy an army and buy all the paints and really get into this is going to be expensive. And I just quit my job, guys. They were like, well, we're just doing 2K armies. It won't be that bad. You could just do it, please. And yeah, fine. You know what? Fuck it. Fine. I'll do it. I love you guys. I want to play. So I started, building an army. And as the army was coming together, they were starting to play and everything. And I think I got to play twice. With whatever I had. Like, we had also done like a 1,000-point game, just because I didn't have a full army at that time. Basically, it was my elites versus his troops. So I had 3 dreadnoughts, a Terminator squad, not a full one, apothecary, a couple other things. But yeah, all of a sudden, the invitations stopped. And it wasn't like I was a no. I don't remember really being a no to the point where they were like, all right, we're just not going to ask anymore. they just kind of kept playing, weren't really inviting me. And I was like, am I that guy? Am I that player? I would like to know. If I'm the one that sucks, please tell me, and I will do what I can to rectify it. I don't want to be that guy in the group. Either way, long story short, it just got to the point where I was like, I don't think you guys are gonna invite me anymore. So I started looking at selling my army. And I even told them a couple of times if it came up. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell my army. And they were like, why would you do that? Well, I haven't played with you guys in how long? And you guys play every Thursday now, as I hear it? Because that before then, I didn't know when they were playing. Then I found out. I was like, okay, well, you guys have been doing this steady. So I think I'm just going to sell my army and leave it at that. And we did. I think after that they invited me like one more time, and I was like, yeah, like I think something was going down to where I couldn't come do it anyway. It was during D&D. I remember that. So I was obviously still hanging out with them, even though at that point my brain was telling me it's only because they needed a fourth person. And it wasn't like they were wanting to hang out with me at that point. They were just like, well, who do we know that is down to play that we can tolerate? Yeah, if you can't tell, I don't have the best self-esteem, which I will give other people plenty of shit for, but that's because I don't want them ever feeling like I did. To this day, I don't know if it's... I don't know the truth, and I don't expect any of them to ever tell me the truth. Because if you are that person, it's a little hard to tell people that, despite how you feel. It's a little hard to tell people that, because then you almost burn a bridge, because people are that touchy. Be careful what you wish for, right? I'd rather just know, hey, am I that person? Am I this person in the group? You guys don't actually want me to hang around much anymore, and fine. That sucks. I know I became a parent and all that other fun shit, but either way. So yeah, I started off painting Carcharodons, and it kind of went from there, and I don't know, I just got the big sad for no reason, and well, not no reason. I mean, I was just going on about all that shit, and it's something that still kind of bugs me, and that's why I think I stopped painting the Carcharodons. It bums me out because it brings up all those feelings again. Feeling inadequate, feeling unwanted. If I am that guy, then okay. At the same time, I think I'd much rather be around my family anyway. But D&D was a nice break. That was a once a month thing. We really didn't have time to do much else. Like to play more often. It was a once a month, and it was usually the last Thursday of every month. So it made it easily enough to schedule around, but we got put in a financial situation where I was like, I'm sorry guys, but I now officially have to bow out. I have to leave D&D because I have to go back to work. And with me being the weekend supervisor, well, that dictates my schedule. And we do 12-hour shifts, 4 days a week. And if I'm the weekend supervisor, we kind of know what my schedule's going to be, but my Monday is Thursday. And I am not going to ever ask any of them to adjust a schedule just so I can play. Like, no, I'm the one who is having this kind of schedule, and you guys have this all worked out. So you keep doing what you're doing. And that's just how it was. That just be how it is. Hey, that X might do. Ooh, it's not that centered, but that's okay. That X just might do. It looks painted. It is. Stupid. But either way, man. Yeah, now I got the big sad because I had to open my big fat mouth about all that. I've asked the community, and a lot of other people, they said, yeah, I think there might be something else going on here. And I was like, yeah, probably, man. Probably. Maybe there's some underlying resentment. Maybe I'm just not that fun. I can't tell. And I don't think I want to be able to tell. Because if I'm just not that fun, cool. If I'm not that likable, cool. Not much I can do about that. Because I have another group of friends that, as far as I can tell, love my company. So, it is what it is. And they say if you're friends with someone for more than 7 years, you're destined to be friends basically forever. And I have known those guys for, damn, how long? Almost 20 years for some people. Almost 20 years. There's definitely people in my life that I've known for almost 30 now. So I'll be 35 this year. I've known them for almost 30 years. And those people I don't really hang out with either. Because it's just not how life ended up. But either way. Maybe one day I'll get an answer. Maybe not. At the current moment, it's not really any of my business. If it was my business, I guess I would know. But it doesn't do anybody any good to be self-loathing about it. All we can do is keep chugging, moving forward. And that's what we're going to be doing right here, right now, with this Blood Angel. We're going to keep moving forward. We got our leather brown out because we're only at about 23, 24 minutes. And we could end the episode here, but I think I can get this leather painted and maybe leave you guys for the next episode. We'll put them together. There's not really any transfers to do for him. I wasn't going to put any squad markings on him, no campaign badges or anything like that. I didn't have the intention to, at least. Because I figured if you're Death Company, you're Death Company. And it's not going to be like, oh, well, you're Death Company, the 3rd Platoon, blah, blah, blah. All that. I don't think it's going to happen that way. If it was me, if I was in charge of some Death Company, you're all just one company. Doesn't matter what other company you served with and came from. Like if you were part of the 10th company or the 4th, doesn't matter anymore. You are now Death Company. And that'll be as big or as small as it needs to be. That's just how it gonna be for how I like to do it. And everybody can paint their own things the way they want. Speaking of which, saying that reminded me of one of my videos. I was going on about people painting Carcharodons or other models and doing it quote-unquote wrong. No one's doing anything wrong, really. You can paint however the hell you want it to look. If you want your Carcharodons to be blue, okay. And you just put a Sharky symbol and you were like, I just want them to be blue. Okay. That's fine. There's no right, there's no wrong. I think what I was trying to get across was it kills me to see something like the Carcharodons, who are usually portrayed as being very ornate, to see people paint them in a bland way to where they don't do anything with them. Because I have seen them where they're just flat gray. And it kills me, man. I'm like, damn, you don't want to have fun with that? And a lot of people there's some excellent painters, and I'm like, you don't want to show off your skill a little bit? Have fun, man. And maybe they are having fun with the simplicity. I mean, I even like the simplicity of certain things. Maybe that's just how they want them to be. I don't know. And it's okay. I do apologize, folks. I feel a definite tone shift here for me. I've definitely relaxed into my role here today. But that whole conversation about the army and everything kind of, I don't know, melancholy, lethargic. I'm not sure for the word at the moment. It doesn't really matter. However, what does matter is that we are closing in on the end game for this. So what we still need to do, excuse me, is have a burp. We still need to use the barbarian flesh that we used for the face. We need to use that on the leather. We also need to use this mummy robe on some of the leather and the armor. But I remember last series I was talking about using the ash gray on black, or even on just gray, and it wasn't doing too much. And to give you an example of that, so the gray primer that I always use is about the same color as this uniform gray. I've used this uniform gray to patch up certain spots that got smudged, and there's damn near an exact match. And then when you hit it with Nuln Oil, there is absolutely a match because it dulls everything out and blends it. But you can see the difference between the shades, and that's what I usually would do, is I would use something, especially for like black armor, I'd hit it with the uniform gray for a dry brush, then I'd go back in with the ash gray, and then we'd go back in with the mummy robes. And we just might try to do that. It looks like we probably have enough time, but I think I'm going to X out the uniform gray. But with that being said, we're getting closer, man. We're getting closer. Next episode should be our last one. Look at that. I dig it. It's not perfect, that X, and it doesn't need to be. It really doesn't need to be. Not for what we're doing. All right. I'm going to see you guys on the next episode. Hopefully we can get a lot of dry brushing done. Either way, the next episode will be the last one. And guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to do that base. That's funny. Might have to do it off camera. Either way, guys, we'll see you on the next round. Void Father, please guide their brushes. hopefully you guys pick out a decent army to paint if anybody's going to do an army. I always like to see some unique armies out there. So if you got a unique army idea, drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. See you guys on the next round. Laters.